Great choice. The Boeing versus Congress case is especially interesting in the current COVID times. I am the host of the simulation and will narrate you through the game to help you understand the key concepts. Let me now introduce you to the story. Your name is Diane Smith, and you are one of the Boeing's top lawyers, the right hand of the CEO. Currently, you are on your way to an important meeting with her. Times ain't good, and your boss is expecting a call from a critical supplier, GDC Technics, which is supposed to design the interior of the two presidential planes Boeing is working on.
Morning, guys. Oh, hey, there you are. Yeah, sit down. GDC is calling soon. I assume you don't have any news?
I'm afraid not.
No, man. This call better deliver good news. Things are bad, honestly. This program sucks. Like, costs are skyrocketing. Suppliers are literally failing us. I mean, what's the latest number?
787 late deliveries.
787. How are we gonna finish those two presidential planes? I have no idea how we're gonna do it. Hello?
Sorry, we are super delayed and there's nothing I can do. You should really start paying your bills.
What should I do? Yeah, sorry, but it's over. We're terminating the contract. And we'll sue you for breaching contractual obligations. Sorry for that.
For real, we'll sue you back for paying late.
Great job! You picked your first direction. I'm your host Lorraine in this multiple choice game, and I'll ensure you capture all the key learnings. Now, in case you missed the facts in the previous scene, do take your time to study them or skip ahead.
Now we have a real problem. We can't finish those planes. We have to ask for an extension.
Plus a price increase.
I like that attitude. But what do we have to do? What's the legal risk here?
I would say that we have to make sure we can justify our non-performance. I suggest we use the high cost incurred by the COVID-19 plus our supplier issue.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's do that.
So, did you catch that? That's your legal issue right there. Do high cost caused by COVID-19 and the supplier issue justify Boeing's non-performance? That is, the timely delivery of the two Air Force One planes.
Okay, then let's get started. What doctrine is applicable here?
We should go for Uniform Commercial Code.
Really? Not like force majeure?
Actually, I don't have the contract because of So the problem here is we don't get to see the content of a contract. And I say we should go for UCC because it is a set of law that governs the sale of goods in the whole United States, which obviously also includes Illinois. And I say we should go for Code 2615 because it's about non-performance. And in our case, it can excuse us from our late delivery.
Okay.
And to use this code, we need to justify three things. First of all, that there is a contingency, an event that might or might not occur during our performance. And secondly, that this contingency should be unforeseeable at the time when we sign the contract. And lastly, we also have to prove that this contingency has rendered our performance impracticable commercially.
Okay.
Hi, long time no see.
Oh, hi, so nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Have you heard about what happened to Boeing?
COVID, cost increase?
Yes. And we're trying to cite the provision about impracticability in the UCC. Do you think that the high cost incurred by COVID could be our excuse?
Well, let's go through the three criteria. The first one is contingency, and a contingency is an event that may but is not sure to occur.
Perfect. Then we can argue that the high cost incurred by COVID is exactly the contingency in our case.
Yeah, perfect. And then moving on to criteria 2, which is unforeseeability.
Well, who could have foreseen COVID?
Well, you need to consider this at the time of signing the contract.
Or maybe we can argue that if we have foreseen COVID, we would have put it in our force majeure clause.
Ah, exactly. You're both experts, and considering your long-term relationship with Congress, which you definitely intends to continue, it is reasonable to assume that you have considered everything when signing the contracts. And also, many legal experts have confirmed that COVID is unforeseeable.
Yeah, you're right. Then in this case, our high cost incurred by COVID will be unforeseeability to us.
Yeah, perfect. Moving on to criteria 3, do you think is impracticable?
Impracticable?
You took quite long with answering. Seems like you're struggling with the concept. Luckily, we have our legal expert Alice join us today. So, when we're talking about impracticability, what do you mean by that?
Well, impracticability refers to something incapable of being performed or accomplished by the means employed.
Great, but how can we evaluate that?
Well, Illinois case law establishes that the cost of performance must be so excessive and unreasonable that the failure to exclude performance would result in something called grave injustice.
Ah, so how do we know what qualifies as grave injustice?
Well, past cases show that not even a substantial increase in the cost of sale are counted. So we only know that Boeing's cost increased by less than $500 million, while nothing more was disclosed to the public. Hence, we have to make our judgment based on that. And honestly, the raw number compared to the $3.9 billion they received from Congress does not constitute a grave injustice if we consult past rulings.
So, even though COVID's real impact might be actually very large, we simply cannot prove impracticability?
That's correct. Well, more investigation and disclosure is needed to establish a favorable position to Boeing.
That makes sense. Then let's return to the story and see if Boeing is luckier with its supplier argument.
Hi.
Hello again.
Any news regarding the contract with Congress?
Well, we just realized that the high cost doesn't justify our underperformance.
It not? Oh, okay. And the supplier issue, the GDC Technics, what about that one?
We looked into past cases and we also heard our lawyer, legal expert's opinion. And I'm afraid that although what we're facing is a contingency, it's not an unforeseeable one because as a very established manufacturer, Boeing should be able to foresee the potential instability on the supply chain.
And you're saying what?
Congratulations! You solved the game. Do you want to continue with the next simulation or with a recap? So basically, we've talked about the UCC, contingencies, impracticability, foreseeability to decide that Boeing cannot be excused under 2615. So Alice, as a legal expert, can you give us some implications of such an outcome?
Well, in short, it may mean that along with climate risks and perhaps pandemics will also be considered more predictable in the future, making court rulings on force majeure stricter. And then also perhaps parties may consider investing more in pre-contractual risk assessments to account for the change in foreseeability.